the storm comes a tall, handsome man in a dusty black coat with a red right
Oh shit!
hand.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Sorry. I was just listening to some music. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Girl on this Channel. Welcome back to another. Oh, I can't be fucked. Let's just do the voice really quickly.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Okay, that's it. That's done with that. It's too hot in that fucking mask. Fuck. Welcome back to another movie review, and the movie I'm reviewing today is the 7th installment in this fucking franchise, and it's not the last one. Let's be honest. I mean, we've seen the taglines like, "Oh, it's all led to this," or "Oh, this is the final Scream," or whatever the fuck they're saying. It's not the last one. Come on, we're getting the 8th film for sure. There's some pretty exciting stuff going on in this movie. We're getting to see Neve Campbell come back as Sidney Prescott. She's got a family. She's got a daughter, Tatum, and Ghostface is back once again, taunting their family, and it's just like classic Scream. That's really, really exciting. Everyone's really excited for this movie. There are no issues with this movie at all. And the movie is Scream 7. Yeah, Scream 7, yeah. Okay, I'm taking this suit off. It's too fucking hot. It didn't get cancelled. It's finally here. Scream 7 has officially hit theaters. And if you know me, I really enjoyed the Scream franchise. I think it's easily my favorite horror franchise of all time. So I was very excited for this movie. Despite the controversy and, the behind-the-scenes drama that went down with this movie, I was still really excited to see Sidney come back, have a family, and another Ghostface taunting them. I couldn't help but still be excited for this movie. I'm sorry. And then it wasn't even just Neve Campbell coming back as Sidney. We also got Kevin Williamson stepping in as a director. He was the writer of Screams 1, 2, and 4. So I was very keen to see how he'd direct his first Scream movie. And I did go into this movie pretty excited, but also very cautious because I'm not going to lie to you, the trailers for this movie didn't look particularly bad, but there was this very, I guess, dull feeling to it. Not even just the trailers, just the marketing in general for this movie. It just felt very non-existent. It felt like the last two Scream movies felt like they had more excitement, more hype to them than this movie, and that's kind of more due to the marketing and the whole controversy with what Spyglass did to Melissa Barrera. So there was, a lot of behind-the-scenes drama. There was a lot, going on with this movie. A lot of people were boycotting it, telling people to not go to see this movie, don't support Spyglass. As a Scream fan, still just had to go out and see this movie in the theater. And I just got back from seeing it, so what did I think of Scream 7? It has its moments. It's not boring. It's enjoyable. But I think it really is starting to show that this franchise, I think it's kind of dying. I think it is. This movie kind of proved that I think this is getting a bit repetitive. This is getting a little too much. This franchise, I feel like, is kind of awaiting its death. I hate saying that as a Scream fan, but really there was nothing to this movie that made me feel like, wow, another great Scream movie, so unique. Like this felt like this needed to exist. I didn't get that feeling watching this movie. I was entertained, I had a good time, but I didn't feel like this needed to exist, which I was really hoping to not feel like that, but towards the end of this movie, I really got that feeling, and it sucked. So before I get into my major gripes and issues with this movie, I want to talk about some of the positives. I want to start off talking about Sidney Prescott, or Sydney Evans as she's called in this movie. Honestly, I think Neve Campbell did a pretty damn good job in this movie. I honestly think she did a better job in this than how she did in Scream 5. I think she was a lot better here with her acting, and her characters this time around is a lot more stressed the fuck out, because when she realizes there's another Ghostface threatening her and her teenage daughter Tatum, she's in full on panic mode, distress, and we get to see the mother side, I guess, to Sidney. And, that was fun to watch. I think Neve Campbell pulled it off, and she did a pretty good job. I know a lot of people are complaining because, Sidney's been done to death. We don't need to see another fucking Sidney, focused movie, which is understandable. I can't really argue with that, but I'll just say I think Neve Campbell did a pretty good job. She was fun to watch. It was nice to see Sidney again in a, playing a big role in a Scream movie. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'll talk about her teenage daughter, Tatum, played by Isabel May. Honestly, she was okay. She was alright. She was an okay add-on to this movie. I didn't end up really liking her as much as I wanted to, but she wasn't unlikable or anything like that. She's just got a lot of moments with Sidney where she doesn't really get along with her. Sidney's kind of refusing to talk about her past with in the previous Scream movies with her daughter, and that kind of there's a bit of tension between them. And I just didn't really care for those scenes as much as I wanted to. I feel like they weren't done very well. So yeah, the whole Tatum character I was hoping to really root for and like, but I didn't end up being as invested as I hoped. But she was still likable. She was still okay. She had some cool moments with Ghostface and some intense moments. So she was an okay add-on to this movie. She was alright. When it comes to like other returning characters, we got Gale once again played by Courteney Cox, and I can't lie to you, I kind of lost interest in Gale's character after Scream 5 when they killed off Dewey, because I just felt like the one thing I really liked about Gale, or the one thing I found her very, what found us really interesting, was her moment with Dewey in those first 4 movies and the 2 seconds they had together in Scream 5. Those moments they had together was so good, and I liked seeing Gale and Dewey together in the Scream movies. They were so fun to watch together, and now that they killed off Dewey in Scream 5, it feels like she's just not interesting anymore. I just don't really get excited when I see Gale in a Scream movie now, which kind of sucks. So I don't know. She's gotten some stuff to do in this movie. I think she is kind of, sidelined at the very end, which I thought was kind of weird, but she's given some stuff to do in the movie, and Courtney Cox did an okay job for the most part. She was okay. And we also got Chad and Mindy coming back, who were in the last 2 previous Scream movies. They're basically almost the same as they were in those last 2 movies. They were pretty fun to watch. They're very likable, so it was kind of cool to see them again, and we're not just pretending like those last 2 movies didn't happen. So it was kind of cool to see them. They were fun to watch. And when it comes to other side characters in the movie, we have Sydney's husband, Mark Evans, played by John McHale, which I liked him quite a bit. I actually enjoyed his character. I don't know if they're trying to treat him like the new Dewey of the franchise. If that's what they're trying to do, then I don't know about that. I mean, I don't think he can bring the same charm that David Arquette brought to those first 4 movies, but I still liked him. I enjoyed him quite a bit. And of course, there's always going to be a friend group in every Scream movie, and that is the case in this movie. Sydney's daughter Tatum has this whole friend group, which, I mean, they had their moments, but honestly, majority of them were nothing too memorable. They were all just red herrings, like, oh, is he Ghostface? Is she Ghostface? Like, that's kind of what they always do with the friend groups in every Scream movie, and that's just kind of what they are here. But yeah, speaking of Ghostface in this movie, pretty brutal for the most part. I've heard some people say that, this is the most ruthless, this is the most brutal Ghostface has ever been. I mean, come on, are we really going to say that about every single Scream movie now? I don't know if I'd say he's the most brutal in this movie, but there's some good kills. There's some solid fucking kills in this movie. Ghostface does do some pretty creative stuff. I mean, if you love clumsy Ghostface, he's definitely clumsy in this movie. He's a clumsy motherfucker, I'll tell you that right now. But he's also got his pretty there are some suspenseful moments in this movie, I'll give it that, especially in towards the third act, when things are bumping, things are going crazy near the third act. I was like, oh yeah, this is what I like. This is why I want to see Scream movies on the big screen. And I have to point out the music, the score in this movie, done by Marco Petrolmi, if that's how you pronounce his name. He composed the first 4 Scream movies. He didn't return for 5 and 6, but he's returned for 7, and man, his music was just peak. It was absolutely peak. If you love the music from the first 4 movies, it's that again with Scream 7. I don't know. It was really nice to hear, his music again, getting to hear it on the big screen and stuff in that room. It honestly made the Ghostface sequences so much more exciting. His music was just blasting, going fucking crazy in all those sequences. So, I don't know, I'm really happy they brought him back. I think I don't know, something was kind of missing with, the music in 5 and 6. So I'm really glad they brought him back for 7. That was awesome. Really enjoyed that. I think that's about all I can really say about my positives with this movie without getting into spoilers, because I do have quite a bit of issues with this movie. This is definitely not a perfect movie for sure. One of my biggest issues with this movie is it feels like it's not really trying to tread new grounds for the franchise. It's not trying to do unique things that this franchise has never done before. It just feels like it's trying to be a celebration of the very first Scream movie, because it's, this apparently it's its 30th anniversary this year, so it's kind of trying to be, nostalgic. It's trying to be trying to be like that first movie, trying to recreate shots, trying to recreate that same kind of vibe of the first movie, even recreating certain scenes and lines from the first movie. There is a scene in this movie that is basically a recreation of a scene from the first movie. I mean, they basically copied lines from that scene and pasted it into this movie, and I was just like, oh my god, are we really doing this? I was kind of cringing a bit, because it was just a full-on recreation of a scene from the first movie, and it really bothered me. I was like, wow, we're really doing this. This is fucking lazy, man. What the hell? The Ghostface sequences in this movie were nothing special. They were enjoyable, don't get me wrong. Some of it was pretty suspenseful and fun to watch, but it didn't feel like anything special. We didn't get a scene like in Scream 6 where we have Ghostface barging into a fucking bodega and just stabbing a bunch of people because fuck it, why the fuck not? And then grabbing a shotgun and blowing someone's brains out. We don't get a single scene like that in this movie. We don't get a scene that just feels like, wow, this is really cool. I never thought we'd get something like this in a Scream movie. This is really awesome. I'll be honest, the opening of this movie just isn't anything too special. I mean, if you've seen the trailers, I think you can guess what it is. It's the Stu Mocker house scene. It's not my favorite Scream opening. It's probably not my least favorite, but I don't know. I feel like Scream 6 had a better opening. I actually enjoyed what they did with the opening of that movie than what they did with this opening this time around. Those last like 15, 20 minutes of this movie of the big reveal of the Ghostface killer or killers. Honestly, those last 15 minutes might have been the worst thing I've ever seen in the entire Scream franchise. It was really bad, and I couldn't believe it. I honestly thought there was going to be more to it. When I kind of understood what was going on and what the motives were and whatever, I was just like, no. This is all we're doing? This is it? Did we even fucking try? I couldn't believe it. I honestly thought there was going to be more to it. I thought there was going to be maybe someone else was going to pop up and reveal themselves and there was going to be more, but no. This is it. This is all we're doing. And it was bad. I won't get into spoilers, but it was really bad. Those last 15, 20 minutes was just not good. And I don't know, I was kind of just waiting for the movie to wrap up at that point. I was just like, when the movie was, like, clearly about to wrap up, I was like, oh, yeah, I get it, blah, 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 just wrap the credits, because those last 20 minutes really bothered me, man. That was not good. I don't know if it's worse than, like, the whole Roman Bridger thing in Scream 3. I thought that was pretty lame, but I definitely think this is about on par. It was really bad. I think it's really easy to predict who Ghostface is in this movie. Like, this is the 7th installment in this whole franchise, and I feel like at this point, I feel like it's not hard to predict who Ghostface would be in these movies, and in this movie particularly, it's pretty fucking easy. I kind of, when they ripped off the masks and revealed themselves, I was like, am I supposed to be shocked? Am I supposed to be surprised? Like, this person barely had any fucking screen time in this whole movie. Am I supposed to be, like, shocked? Like, what the fuck? This is somehow worse than, like, Scream 6's reveal. Like, I don't know how they keep doing it, but yeah, those last 15 to 20 minutes were fucking rough. But yeah, I was still able to find some enjoyment in Scream 7. It was just those last 15 minutes that just didn't work for me at all, and it was just really fucking bad. And overall, I just felt like this movie had a bit of a dull feel to it. I felt like there should have been more to it. It didn't feel creative enough. It didn't feel like it did enough for this franchise to, keep it going. And I don't know, I just don't see what else they could really do with it. I don't know what they're going to do with Scream 8, but I don't know. The movie was still entertaining. I enjoyed Neve Campbell as Sydney, and I enjoyed majority of all those other side characters. The Ghostface sequences were pretty well done. They were fun to watch. They were genuinely really tense at times. The music was really good, but I just don't feel like this did much for the franchise. It wasn't really treading new grounds at all, and I just don't think this was the right direction for this movie to go. So, yeah, entertaining, but definitely easily one of the more weaker Scream movies, unfortunately. And would I recommend you go see Scream 7? Well, if you love Neve Campbell as Sydney, you love Ghostface, you enjoyed this franchise, I feel like this movie has enough that you'll probably be, entertained. But if you're kind of hoping this movie was going to tread new grounds, do new things, kind of like what Scream 6 was trying to do with changing up the setting and all that, this movie just kind of feels very back to basics. The over-reliance on nostalgia in this movie just really bugged me, and I just wasn't a fan of that at all. But yeah, I don't know. There was still stuff in this movie that I enjoyed. There was stuff that I really didn't like, and I feel like just didn't prove to itself why it needed to exist and why we needed a 7th installment in this franchise. So hopefully they get more creative with Scream 8 if that does get made, and they do more with the franchise, because this movie, entertaining, but nothing special.
This is gonna be fun.
Alrighty guys, this is gonna be the end of my review of Scream 7. I hope you enjoyed. I didn't hate this movie. I was entertained for the most part. As someone who's a fan of this franchise, I still found enjoyment in this movie. I just wish it was more creative. I wish it did more. I wish it didn't feel kind of dull. I wish it didn't have this really weird dull feel to it. And those last 15 minutes were just really terrible. It was really bad. So here's hoping Scream 8 will be more creative and do more for the franchise, because I just don't think this did enough. But I hope you enjoyed my review. Post comments down below if you've seen Scream 7 and what you thought of it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. But man, this franchise is not ending anytime soon. Like, fucking come next year, you are going to see this face again. And it's never going to fucking end. Like, what does Ghostface say in the fucking trailers? I'm going to burn it all down. Well, that's what I'm going to do right now with this fucking mask. The fucking, yeah, burn, mask, burn. Yes, yes. This franchise is never going to end.